video, we are going to tell you or to guide you how to teach fairy tales in the literature at school. So there are some steps that you have to do. The first step is warming up. Before you start to teach, you can give some of warming up to your student. In this part, the teacher can ask some questions to the student as a brainstorming in the beginning of the lesson, just to make them more active and ready to achieve the learning objectives. In this part, students are expected to be comfortable and enthusiastic about participating in these lessons with warms up that can be done in various ways, such as making brainstorming, do the games, and anything else, just to make sure your students ready to join the learning process on that day.
The second step is tell the purpose. Before you explain about what fairy tale is, you have to tell to your students the reasons why we have to learn fairy tales, such as to improve students' knowledge about narrative text or fairy tales, so the students can analyze the definition, generic structure, language features, and the examples of fairy tales, and to train students' creativity skills in reading and writing narrative text or fairy tales. The third step is explanation. In this part, you have to explain about narrative text first. Why? Because as we know that fairy tales is kind of narrative text. You have to explain about the definition, either the definition of narrative text or fairy tales. You have to explain both, and you have to explain about social function, generic structure, and also about language features. After you explain about that, don't forget to give some of example and analyze it together, just to make sure your students understand well about that.
The fourth step is give an exercise. In this part, you can divide the exercise based on the skill. As we know that English have 4 skills, such as reading, writing, speaking, and listening. But in this case, we just need 2 skills, reading and writing. For reading, the teachers can divide the exercise into 3 kinds of tasks. First, the students have to read the text of fairy tales and then answer kind of multiple choice question. Second, the students have to arrange these random paragraphs into a good fairy tales. And the last, the students have to read the fairy tale and identify the generic structure. And for writing itself, the teacher can divide the exercise into 2 kinds of tasks. First, the students have to choose one of fairy tales and then write it your own words without reducing the meaning, and in accordance with the generic structure. After that, read it in front of the class. Second, the students have to write down the fairy tale story based on the picture that the teacher have proper. You can make it with your group. Yeah, you as a teacher can make the exercise like I tell you before, or if you have kind of creative tasks, it will be nice.
And the last step is reflection. In this section, the teacher will reflect on or such as flashback about what has been learned with student, and the teacher can ask some question to the student. The aim of this step is to determine student abilities in understanding the material that have been explained before. So, we think that's all the thing that we can tell you about how to teach fairy tales in literature at school.
Hopefully this video can be useful for you and can be a guide for you as a teacher. Thanks for your attention.